What's up, Coffee Blerds? I'm about to talk with Kenzel and Tio of 3 Keys Coffee, and we are going to play around with pour over bloom times and see what kind of difference it makes to use an extended bloom time, like a minute or 2 minutes, versus the shorter 30-second bloom time. And if you're unfamiliar, the bloom time is the initial pour that you do to kind of rinse off the coffee and prep it, get it ready for the actual brew. Along the way, we talk about what it means to be a barista, the difficulties and challenges of becoming a good barista, some of the myths and best practices of roasting, of what it means to taste and experience coffee in ways other than the standard descriptors that we often come across. How to make what 3 Keys has done to make coffee more inviting and welcoming to folks that don't know what bergamot is, like myself. Hope you get something from the experiment, and if nothing else, enjoy the conversation half as much as I did. Tio, Kenz, 3 Keys Coffee. Enjoy.
Hey.
Hey, how are you guys?
Good, how are you?
Good. Some fall weather.
Oh yeah. It's where are you?
You know, fall in Houston means like
fall in Houston is like
60.
Yeah.
70. Sub 70.
Thanks for joining me, you guys. I don't know why I feel really excited to see you guys. We've been chatting.
I know. It's like I feel like we've DM'd so much. It's like I feel like I know you.
Right. You and Kenzel are like best buddies, pen pals and stuff.
I always don't know, but it's like a lot of times I'll reply, and I know some people probably assume it's Tio, and like I just kind of let them roll with it. I'm like, but
okay, yeah, I'd probably do that too. Yeah.
So I'll try to, if it gets kind of weird, I might say like, this is Kenzel. Like just so people are like, why does Tio talk with so many exclamation marks and emojis?
He's so excited
Because he's always like, why do you use so many emojis? So I had to chill with my emojis.
That's funny. So I guess we can jump right into it. Let me show y'all what coffee I'm using. I'm going with the George Powell. Did y'all get this?
Yeah, I think I've gone through all of mine already.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask. It was like, should we be using the same coffee?
I really like the idea of like both of us using different coffees. We can use like, our own separate recipe, and then we'll see if like between us we get the same results.
I think we both have this, right?
The Zambia anaerobic. You still have some left?
No, I had just a little sample. I use it already.
No.
Right. I mean, we do sell coffee of our own, so is this not a time for product placement?
Yeah.
We're going with this Ethiopia whoosh whoosh we have that we got from another local roaster who's kind of like Tio's mentor, actually. Luce Ave. So, where's the camera? Okay, there we go. And so,
okay, well, I have already got my coffee ground. My water's heated up, so I'll let y'all go ahead and do that.
Yeah,
what grind setting are you using?
I'm using, y'all got the Barassa?
Mm-hmm.
16.
Okay, that's what I use for V60. So we have never used the origami yet. This is our very first time.
All right.
So we actually got this from Throughgood, Pastor Rudy's shop. When we were in there, we saw he had some on the shelf. So that's where we grabbed ours. We were like, well, we've been needing to try using the origami. All right. So we're
ready.
Following the same recipe, or what are we doing? Oh, because we wanted to talk about bloom times. So
have y'all played around with like bloom times? What do you usually like bloom your coffee to, or how long?
30 seconds.
Yeah, we
Yeah, like seconds. 50 grams, 40, 50 grams, 30 seconds.
Okay, cool. Me too. Usually, I've been doing like a minute long these days.
Okay.
I'm kind of like in that. I want to try maybe go up to 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes.
All right.
2 minutes.
All right. Push the envelope. Push.
Let's talk about this now.
What are you doing? He's letting the dog out.
Let's talk about this.
Okay.
Talk about this. Because now, because what we're saying is that we're letting it oxidize more or longer, right? So will that have a positive effect or adverse effect on the coffee, the taste of the coffee? Because, how does water, air, wet grinds and air, how does that react? You know what I'm saying? In terms of flavor.
Good question. Some former barista champion, I don't know his name, came up with this recipe to do in like 3 pours. The first pour being the bloom, and he waited for 1 minute, and he said that it was to extract more sweetness. My only theory I've come up with is that it's doing more work still, like even after it's drawn down, it's still like working to, I don't know. I thought I had a theory before, but now I feel like I'm just bullshit.
It wasn't a quiz or anything. I think he was just like,
just for thought.
Or not quiz, but you know what I mean.
Under pressure. No, because I got too.
Okay, yes.
No, I think it's about sweetness.
That's interesting. So a parallel in roasting.
A super sweet coffee, so we'll be able to tell what
A parallel in roasting is that there's this theory or fact. I don't know if it's a theory or if it's like proven, but you can if you extend out this initial that browning phase or whatnot, it brings out more sweetness. It's something about kind of extending out that development or that phase of roasting that it actually brings out more sweetness in the coffee. So it's kind of interesting to hear that, from a brew perspective, extending out that initial bloom before just immersing it, with just, a bath of water can affect the cup in a positive way where you get that additional sweetness out of it. So interesting. I learned something today, or we'll find out, we'll do our own little test or whatever, but yeah, it's interesting.
What is the browning? What is that? You preheat the beans?
So you'll hear a term called Maillard phase, Maillard reaction. So it's when you're going from drying, you're coming out of your drying phase. So that's the preheating. And you can manipulate how you develop a roast based on, a couple things like what charge temperature you're dropping your beans at, how much heat you're applying during that initial roast. Is it heat shock or is it a heat soak? And so that's kind of what we're doing here is we're saying we're not going to shock it with a bunch of water. We're going to let it soak in that, that first 50 grams for a minute, let that soak, give it time to sort of acclimate itself. Let the grinds acclimate itself to the water and let it do its thing before forcing, an immersion or a bath of water down its throat. so you know what I'm saying? Complete the brew. Okay. So what I'm hearing is that patience could, result in a more pleasant cup. If you're patient about your pour over, you might get better results out of it. So.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see if that's
we're about to see.
We are about to see.
We keep things simple. I think it's because we know also that a lot of folks who are trying our coffee may not have access to a whole bunch of things. And so we like to taste it both how a connoisseur might try to taste it, but also how,
everything on drip.
A grandma or something might try to taste it and make sure that it kind of works.
Yeah.
However, yeah. So we put everything on drip. Yeah. Okay. At least to taste it. But we also try espresso and Chemex and V60s, a lot of V60s, especially for the anyway.
I used to didn't like V60, but now it's my preferred.
That's my go-to.
I used to give very negative facial reactions to V60 coffee from a V60, but now I'm man, put that on a V60. So yeah, it has, yeah, it's evolved.
All right.
Okay. So how long are we blooming for this one?
For this one, let's do 30 seconds.
Okay.
Actually, let's do the long bloom time first.
Go.
Been a long day. Try to get away to my safe place to see your face. I need some shade. I need some shade.
So wait, were we doing 2 minutes or 30 seconds for this?
I thought we was doing a minute.
Shit, I fucked up. I did the
That's what I was like. Wait, did we mess up something?
No,
A
that was
minute? Okay.
Minute.
Okay. Well, you'll just add like you know we'll do it.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
the order. Yeah.
Let it breathe.
So tell me this: what's does the like the fanned, chevron or whatever kind of design? Is this supposed to like help or do anything to the actual coffee?
I have very limited like knowledge on the whole history and backstory of the origami. I know I read something that like there was some like barista champion or something who used it, and then everybody's like, "Whoa, origami!" But, like,
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was
of-
like just aesthetically appealing or if it actually enhanced the extraction or something. Like.
I mean, I think it's mostly the aesthetics, but I have read of a couple, mostly their theories as to why like some people think that it is better for brewing. One is like it has a wider hole at the bottom. There'd be more of like a free fall situation where like nothing impeding like the bottom part helps somehow. But then also like the fact that the paper is not completely like touched on, like there's those gaps with each of the prongs, like that also
Less
helps
contact area.
Yeah, gullah, they wanna bend ya, over until you lose position. Hope I can get to new resistance. I've been catching feelings, resisting the urge to lose the vision.
Right, we should have some background music, right?
Yeah, what's the music?
oh I always prefer music. Are y'all gonna play music? Is that what I heard?
I can. No, you gotta ask me.
I don't hear y'all music.
Play some music. All right, let me grab some. Been working on a new playlist for this Tanzania that we're about to drop. Actually, I can't even take credit for the playlist. I have to give all credit to my guy Delvin at Equatorial Coffee. So did something really cool with this Tanzania in that it's our first time working together. So we sourced the Tanzania through him, and as part of that whole collaborative effort, he's like, "Yo, can I get the keys to the playlist?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's see what you got." Or actually, I approached him about it, and he's like, got excited, but came through with a dope playlist. So that was like one less thing to think about.
Okay.
So yeah, let's.
So y'all have a playlist for every coffee you make.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. That's very cool.
So like take for example like our Brazil, we call it bossa nova, and so that one's gonna be like Latin American jazz, like Latin themed jazz, that sort of. Also, you'll find a little bit with our like Guatemala Ghost Note. And then like our Honduras, it was called Smooth Horn Blues, and so it was like Louis Armstrong, some Billie Holiday, like really like the horns, but kind of that era of jazz. So yeah, we try to have everything match to what what we feel the vibe of that coffee is.
Yeah, okay, very cool. Yeah, when I saw the concept of y'all's coffee pairing music notes with coffee knows what? Like, that sounds so cool. I was a little bummed that I didn't know about y'all. Or I think you said, Ken, that you probably weren't around when I was still in Houston, but
Three Keys at that point was probably just a twinkle in our eye. Yeah.
Right.
All right, I'm about to start on my second coffee.
So are we tasting yet, or we're waiting and doing like a side-by-side tasting?
Side-by-side.
Okay. All right. So
can I sneak a taste in?
You can sneak a taste in, please do.
I've been working to get the ocean wavy, trying to mix it up so we get some stuff to support the maybe. Wasn't sure, but now the shore is gone. Yeah, not a lot left to fill the void. Got a lot of feelings amidst the noise. Got a premonition I can't avoid. I choose life, I pick the right option. Freedom like I missed tonight's auction. But
you want 2 minutes on this one? Okay, so we'll do 2 minutes on this one. So yeah, it's like jazz, kind of talking about the music thing. So it's been very, that's the one genre that I'm able to, like, if I want to pull an all-nighter, like I'm listening to like jazz. I can just pop it on and just let it play. I don't have to really skip songs or whatever. So yeah, it is very helpful in terms of like productivity and creativity and stuff like that. That's why we've tried to incorporate that as much as possible into into our approach for coffee and our expression of coffee.
Yeah.
And it also is a way of, it's just there's a lot of things. I mean, it's me connecting back with like my past and like my past as a musician.
What kind of playing did you do?
I played trumpet. I played trumpet all up through college. So from when I was a little kid back in like third grade all the way up until college, when I had to make that choice between like, do I want to do well in engineering and graduate, or do I want to like flunk out of college and rest on my trumpet playing laurels? And I just kind of made that choice where I need to like put the horn down.
Right. I feel like he needs to clarify. He didn't just go to any college to do like whatever. So he was in the FAMU marching band playing the trumpet. So that's why it was more of a like, all right,
a commitment,
yeah. Like a true like big deal for that time dedication. But yeah. All right, and so we begin.
But my boat done missed the tight dock now. How I'ma get to my island? I'm wondering. Yeah, gullah, they wanna bend ya. Over.
Kind of questioning Kenzel's technique. I feel like I see a dry grind.
A single
grind that looks like it wasn't properly.
You know what? The other day I was doing a session with like a coffee expert, and I'm like, damn, like it was first and foremost amazing to be able to learn some stuff. But damn, if there was any other way to highlight like how little I know, the best way is just to talk with someone who actually really knows. See, I already fucked up. I should have been finished already. Here I am talking out.
I'm multitasking.
Especially these darn pour overs, man, require so much focus, and attention to detail. Who came up with the pour over? They decided like, man, I'm about to like gravity drain this in a cone. You know what I mean? Like, who came up with this? So I think, all right, my history, if I know correctly, if I remember correctly, Chemex is German. B60s are Japanese, of course. I think this might be Japanese. Yeah, Japan. AeroPress is American. I guess French press is French.
Right.
It's like culturally appropriating. Stop calling it French press and it's not French. But I think it's fascinating, like, the elegance of like a Japanese pour over versus like the just not elegant look of an AeroPress. It's just kind of like very functional.
Yeah. It took me a while to like the AeroPress.
I'm still kind of on the fence about it. Like, it's just like, I don't like all these parts. You know, how often do I really need like an on the go, you know, brewing method, you know? So yeah, I'm just kind of on the fence. I just rather go to a coffee shop and get me a Americano for all of that, you know.
I've never used it at home, to be honest. I do only, pretty much the only places I go to my boyfriend's. So like when I'm staying over there, I have an AeroPress over there.
You should gift him some coffee equipment for Christmas.
You don't know what to do with it.
Well, it's for him.
Oh, okay, I got you. Oh, y'all done? Looks like you're done.
I think so. Yeah, looks pretty done.
It does make it sweeter.
It does?
It makes it's almost like a different coffee.
Really?
Almost, yeah. Yeah, very much so. But this one is more like cacao. And this one's more like cherry. With hints, like with the hint of cacao.
Okay.
Damn. I'm turning into that person.
You can even kind of smell it. But...
Like, there's like, when I first started roasting, I was like, man, I'm not about to be like that guy that like, yeah, when you brew this, you have to brew it a certain way to get the flavor that I desire, you know, from the roast. Right. But now I'm kind of turning into that guy because I'm really seeing like the difference.
I used the word complexity to describe the coffee for the first time the other day. I did not
snap.
Yeah. Well, new stuff.
Tio did a virtual cupping and described it as Kool-Aid.
So. Yeah, I was like, this is like grape Kool-Aid. It reminded me of like when I was a kid and it was packed full of sugar in a cup, you know, and it was
I'm sure there's a more pretentious word out there we could call it, but he's like, look, it tastes like Kool-Aid. Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm about to enter these stuffy, you know, environments and like just kind of, you know, impart some just normal, not normalcy, but like just impart some just like general terms that people can connect to, you know, like relatable terms. If you like a black kid or just any kid growing up and like the sweet things that you tasted were like, yeah, everybody knows what Kool-Aid tastes like. Not everybody knows what black currant tastes like or something, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the heck is a currant? I still haven't had a currant.
Right, or right to your knowledge.
Yeah. But I do know what grape preserves from Cracker Barrel tastes like. The grape jelly. Like, I was describing that one day and I was like, that's what it tastes like, that Cracker Barrel, you know, that really good jelly that, you know, you ask for some more biscuits so you can take some home with you, you know. So yeah. And that's, so yeah, you know, talking about the flavor wheel, we just wanted to, you know, do something that was like, let's make it easy to read and to kind of, you know, relate to, identify with, take away some of the complex terminology and describe it in a way that maybe people would be like, you know, like that does feel like vibrant, you know, jubilant. And then, you know, connect the actual flavor notes to that, you know, if you want to take it there. And then also, like, you know, if you notice, like on our coffees, like we don't put elevations, like there's a like QR code where you can find that information if you're interested in it. So on the package QR code that takes you to our website where you can find all that. But we really want it to be very much just like, this is the region. And that's,
we have the country of origin. Most of our stuff is single origin, so we'll say if it's single origin. But yeah, if you want all of those other details, then go here. All the rest of us is like, I want an approachable coffee.
Yeah, it's like, and you're just curious about like, oh, that's from Tanzania, like that. I wonder what that tastes like. And you know, that's the most you'll get, you know, from the introduction. And we're not trying to intimidate you. We're actually trying to invite you. That's why we have like, you know, cool designs, vibrant designs. It should be inviting. And then, you know, from there, just having conversations around it.
And then on the back is the link to get to the playlist for it.
Yeah. So, okay.
Our playlist page, which we actually have just one page for all of our playlists, so people kind of realize that like, oh, it's not just one playlist, we have like one for every coffee.
And I swear we're not trying to like pub our brand right now. We're just kind of having conversations.
Oh yeah, okay, sure. That's exactly what I wanted to talk about. Is y'all's approach is
this moment
why I was like so drawn to y'all's approach. Not only is like it a cool concept, but it feels real. It feels down to earth, and that's something that I was like really missing when I got into coffee. Damn, no color. It's like everyone who talks about coffee, they're like very precise with their language. They talk about science. They use like the fancy words, current, bergamot, all that, which is cool. I mean, that works. It works, for the industry. It works for some people. But if we could just mix it up a little bit in coffee and like bring in other cultures, we could have like more relatability to more people. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I've really been missing. So like I was so happy to find the online community where that actually exists. And I'm really hoping we can bring more of that to just like to the real world. So
absolutely. I mean, definitely having that huge online community lets you know you're not alone. If people kind of look at just what's in their local environments, a lot of times maybe it is pretty challenging to find other people who kind of can relate to different your backgrounds and experiences and stuff. But we're able to find that online, and maybe it's not in your city, and it's like you realize there's this whole group of people out there, and it starts to make you feel like, okay, we do belong here, like we are welcomed in this space. So kind of reduces that imposter syndrome.
And like, I mean, kind of the crazy story, like just kind of meeting, like, for instance, Steven Zinnerman, we connected online, and then we started realizing that we had a lot in common. Like, both marched in the band, both from Georgia, like, dads, roasting coffee. And it's like, dude, I thought I was the only person out here doing this, but actually there's people like me doing this too, and that's cool, man. And so, would have never made that connection had it not been for like the online communities. Would have just kind of been in our, separate worlds or regions, and not really having that opportunities connect. So that has been a definite benefit. Just kind of embracing it, because I mean, Kenzel's kind of pushed me to be more active, like from a social media perspective, because I was just kind of like just very hesitant about putting myself out there, just being out there like that or whatever. It's been it's been rewarding, so I've been enjoying it.
Good. Yeah,
I do feel myself falling in this trap though, like kind of checking my Instagram much more than I used to.
I was starting to do it because I didn't see anybody initially, but I would have given up if that had continued to be the case. Damn, really, no one's out here that looks like me, and I'm just out here in this void by myself, talking about coffee to nobody. But like, oh shit, other people are interested.
Right.
And so
you have a great energy. I mean, it's like, how can anybody like not see some of your stuff, some of your content? I remember I can't even remember when I saw your account for the first time, but I'm like scrolling. I was like, oh, okay,
right.
Playing your guitar.
She plays a guitar, the acoustic.
Just like,
I know you.
She listened to the Beatles, right?
Kenzel found her like soulmate.
I'm like, who else knows these songs? I put him onto it. My kids know them now. I mean, Zane likes to sing some of them. But anyway, but I was gonna say, I like the idea of the video as well, because so we've recorded like a few podcasts, but they were like audio podcasts, and I mean, they were a lot of fun and everything, but I think it's just nice to see the facial reactions and actually talk to somebody. And I don't know, I feel like it's a bit more inviting and more comfortable, sort of, than like when you're kind of audio, and then you're thinking like you say something and then you're like, oh, what do they think about what I said? It could be a little awkward sometimes with those, but I like your approach to the video podcast.
Thank you.
So I'm looking forward to tuning in and seeing all the other great folks you're gonna have.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Did you do you have your notepad? Have you wrote down like your findings from your experiment? Kind of taking the science.
Right. Do we have a hypothesis?
Right. What was our hypothesis?
One of my earliest reasons for wanting to do this was because I watched a lot of coffee YouTube videos, and like I said, it's a lot of kind of the same. The approach always seemed like clean video, like professional and numbers, science, which I like. That's why I watch them. But there was nothing that spoke to me culturally. There was nothing that I was looking for casual, And so that's what I kind of wanted to provide. I don't really think there's anything professional about at least the typical definition or idea of professionalism about my videos. And I kind of don't want to be bothered to do that. That's not with writing down, taking notes. That's just me being lazy and with it. And,
I was just giving you a hard time. Anyway, yeah.
Why are you doing that? Making me feel
but to your point, I think, as a viewer, this will probably be much easier to watch and kind of watch from start to finish versus the videos that you're talking about. If anybody who's like me, I'm all right, let me fast forward, let me figure out where I want to be in that video, and then just kind of get that part and then just kind of go about my day. But something like this where it's conversational, informal, not not scripted. We're just kind of figuring it out as we go. People get an opportunity to kind of get the real us as we go through this. So I like the format. I even and even kind of on the subject of videos, Antoine, he posted a espresso video a month or 2 ago, 2 months ago. And I swear Kenzel couldn't pull a decent shot to save her life prior to that video. There's a ton of YouTube.
I was watching a bunch of stuff on YouTube, and I'm just like, it's not working. I don't know what I'm doing. And then Antoine posted this just very simple, made it easy. Yeah. And I was just like, I just was kind of overthinking it, or I'm trying to follow their guidelines to a T, or it's you have to do this and that and this and that.
Yeah.
And
they'll have you overthinking it because they're
I was totally overthinking the whole process. Yeah. And I remember, I think his videos maybe 5 minutes, and it was just man, how much time did I spend on YouTube?
Trying to figure out how to fucking pull an espresso shot, a decent one. Yeah.
Right, I could pull an espresso shot.
Sure, you could pull one. You definitely pulled some espresso shots. She's awful.
Yeah, when I used to be a trainer for other baristas, at first I would send them a link to a YouTube video, and then I pretty quickly realized that that's not actually that helpful. Once I played around with it myself and figured out how to pull espresso shot, do lattes, that's when I started watching videos, and they became more helpful to me then once I kind of already knew what I was doing. Just being simple, straightforward, and real, and not trying to bombard people with all the words, all the things that you have to pay attention to all at once. That's just not.
That's a lot. I have so much respect for baristas. Seriously.
Yeah. And I think a lot. I think because those videos too, man, I think there's a part of, being a barista that's about intuition and having a feel for it. And that doesn't necessarily translate over well in those videos. They try to be this rigid, all right, look for 2 to 1, or, kind of time 20 seconds or whatever.
Yeah.
But that takes away the intuitive nature of what you're doing, or the art of what you're doing. Kind of same with roasting. You can get caught up into numbers and curves, and it takes away from the sensory part of what you're doing. So I think there's definitely an opportunity. Oh, so to her point, mad respect for baristas, mad respect for talented baristas that like, you know, that have honed in on their crafts and are able to like create these amazing drinks, because it takes a lot of effort to freaking dial in your espresso correctly. Like, you know,
not just being one tiny facet of everything that they do.
Let me know, you know, friend, I'm like, how do y'all do this? Man, people just don't understand what goes into like that end product of what they receive. Whether it's like picking up a bag of beans off a shelf and not really giving a damn about like how it was roasted, or, you know, asking for, you know, cortado or something and not really kind of understanding like, all right, like a good one has these elements to it that a good barista will deliver. So yeah.
What, Nikki? I don't know completely like your whole background in coffee.
Enough about us. What about you, Nikki?
My background in coffee. I started at Starbucks. Like everything I learned about coffee came after Starbucks. I learned shit at Starbucks, but it got me to realize that like there might be something to this whole industry. And then from there I was kind of moving around a lot, going from like barista to team lead to general manager and then cafe manager. And it was like each place, it's been just fascinating because like every time I learn that there's so much more to learn about coffee. Every shop does things differently. But I guess I have made us wait long enough for these. Y'all been trying it, right?
They're basically almost gone.
Yeah, we've been all through this.
Are you trying like citrus out of this?
Man, you know what? As both cooled down, I will say, when you say citrus, you mean like lemon citrus or like
lemon for me? But
I don't know about lemon.
We have completely different taste buds.
Well, it's kind of interesting because as they cooled, I felt like this became more acidic, and this actually
maybe that's what
lost,
I'm picking up.
you know, lost some of that cacao acidity, that chocolate acidity that I was tasting.
Which one?
So 1 minute started off like strong acidity and kind of like, you know, faded. And then this one kind of started off like sweet, but then as it cooled down and became brighter, like more acidic, which is, I would say, makes it more complex.
Okay, interesting. So I did 30 seconds, 2 minutes for. Maybe y'all can tell me, because I'm wondering what this note is I taste. I think maybe it's the bergamot. Can y'all tell me what bergamot is?
So bergamot is an orange. It's like a citrus. It's like a citrus.
That's
it's
it.
like it's green with. See, and that's what be bothering me. Like, just put orange.
I knew you were gonna say.
Like, you got people like Googling what the hell bergamot is, which is that's cool, but you know, where am I gonna be able to go to fucking HEB or, you know, Trader Joe's to get a bergamot? Probably not. You know,
this has notes of nectarine and bergamot. So
double citrus. All right, let's get more of what you're tasting. What do you think about it?
I was getting more of like a little bit more sweetness. I was kind of surprised I couldn't tell more of a difference, to be honest, but that could be because I was fucking up. Like I wasn't perfectly consistent. I'll be honest about that. But I did, in the 2 minute long bloom, while it was hot, I tasted a little bit more of the honey, but as it cools, it's not like I don't taste a difference really in the sweetness, but the longer bloom time one is getting more like acidic. Like I'm getting more of the, I guess the bergamot is what I'm tasting. That's citrus. So cooling, I like the first one better, that short bloom time. I'm not getting much citrus acidity because I don't really like that too much anyway, not when it turns citrusy, but that's cool. When it was hot, I like the longer bloom time. It was more
So you don't, you mentioned you don't really like the citric flavor, citric acidity type coffees. So that means, like, for instance, like Kenyans aren't really at the top of your list of.
Yeah, I still don't know about like origins and how they come into play with flavors.
I got you. No, that's fair. What's that? What?
Well, Malik is like the apple.
Yeah, Malik is an apple. But I'm just kind of saying, like, origin versus
like
flavor. Like, so for instance, like Kenyans are, not that they're notorious for like citric acidity, high citric acidity, but you know, that's something like if you were looking for some citrus notes, you know, a washed Kenyan AA would be kind of like along that profile. Okay. One thing that's interesting about like what you're drinking is I'm typically not a fan of like washed Ethiopias, because I feel like if I get an Ethiopia, I want Ethiopia natural. You know, I feel like, you know, the washed Ethiopias just don't pack the flavor, you know, comparable to the naturals. So I tend to like turn my nose up at washed Ethiopians.
Okay.
Like, why I drink that if I can get a natural? Yeah.
Why Ethiopia? Why does that not really do well for you with wash?
Well, I mean, it's just like when you taste the difference between an Ethiopian, or when you taste an Ethiopian natural, like if you're cupping and you have a side by side natural versus a wash process, I just feel like 9 times out of 10 the natural wins out. Like it just kind of it's very memorable. Like they're very memorable coffees.
In general, across the board, or just with Ethiopia?
Specifically with Ethiopians.
Okay.
But across the board, naturals, I just kind of, I guess I might be preferential towards naturals, but they're just, the aroma is a lot sweeter. Like you get like, you know, much sweeter aromas. That translates well into the cup where you get sweeter cups. So yeah, yeah, for me, it's kind of like if I'm gonna get an Ethiopia, like I'll probably always prefer a natural. It isn't particular to like Ethiopian coffees, but it's very prominent, you know, for Ethiopian coffees. I think Brazilian coffees, it's common to have natural process Brazilians.
I feel like this could be a future topic.
Yeah,
for your. No, I'm serious. Like a wash versus natural in like the same region. Like
and cup, yeah, I was actually, as a matter of fact, because I was cupping some Rwanda, like same farm, wash versus natural. I cupped that the other night, and it's a night and day difference. So I will say, if you do not like your coffee to be on the sweeter side, absolutely go with wash process. But if you kind of enjoy like the sweetness, that, you know, sweeter notes in coffee, natural wins out all the time, damn near all the time.
Nikki, with these coffee experiments, it's almost like she's doing like versus battles for coffee.
Right, yeah, this does feel like a versus battle. It does feel like GG versus Gucci Mane in the cup. Not to be confused with Gucci Mane. Shout out to Coffee Black.
Right.
So yeah, next versus battle will be wash
versus natural.
All right, so to close out, what has made y'all feel not caffeinated enough lately?
Parenting is a constant. I'm not caffeinated enough.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw that kids had a birthday. Is that?
Yeah, our youngest. He had a birthday. It was so funny because he's turning 2 and we were singing happy birthday. We had like a couple of kids, trying to honor COVID restrictions and everything. And so we go to sing happy birthday. And I guess he did not realize up until this point that it was his birthday. And so we're singing. And when we get to happy birthday to Kai, his face, he was like, what?
Me?
What? This was me? Hold on. I thought we were just like playing and eating cake. Anyway, because I guess at 2 year old or 2, you're not processing like birthdays and celebrations quite yet. But yeah, the kids, we were fighting with our 4-year-old this morning to try to get him to eat a blueberry. He does not do any fruit
single blueberry
at all.
Just one
blueberry. Just one.
Try to even like, you know, I guess bribe him by saying that like, you know,
we weren't gonna.
Yeah, Santa's not gonna give you any gifts.
And he said, he's like, I'm going upstairs to call Santa. And so we were like, he went upstairs. He actually went upstairs. I don't know what you did, but
I called Santa. I called and told him.
Yeah, I told him. You gotta make good on your promises.
Right.
And he came back downstairs, and then Zane was still just like, I'm not eating this blueberry though.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. So then we tried to tell him that Black Panther eats blueberries, and
that's how he gets that like purple, like, you know, stuff that lights up in his suits and stuff.
Nice.
He started to be more intrigued by the idea, but he still was like very reluctant. So then we had to sandwich it between pieces of sausage. He finally tried it, but then I could tell he was chewing in this really weird way. Like he was like going, And I was like, what are you doing? Yeah. And then like, so then I realized that he has found a way to eat all of the sausage and leave the blueberry like on the side of his mouth. I'm like, you know what? I quit.
Yeah.
And
I'm not caffeinated enough for this.
right.
Yeah. That's good.
Our oldest 4-year-old, like I never feel caffeinated enough. Not caffeinated. Yeah, I'm not caffeinated enough to never not caffeinated.
Wait, never
too caffeinated to deal with it. I'm never over caffeinated. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And then you know, Miss Not Caffeinated Enough herself is like, you know, I'm gonna post this late post, and it's decaf, so it's only 3%, but you can't post stuff like that saying you shouldn't be caffeinated, and then say not caffeinated enough. Even when you're sleeping, you should have some caffeine pumping through those veins to wake up.
This man will make a cup of coffee at like 11 p.m. and just. I mean,
right. We're not exclusive though. I can want to avoid caffeine at night and proclaim that I'm not caffeinated enough if I want.
It's tough for us. I mean, I don't want to get like too far. I know we were trying to like wrap it up, but like because we're still working, that we have to stay up late in order to do Three Keys business. Because we still have our day jobs, and so when would we find the time to keep Three Keys running? And so we have to wait until, and then the kids, they don't want to go to sleep until super late, and it's hard. So sometimes we do have like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. nights or later of trying to do stuff.
Yeah, I didn't realize that Three Keys is not your day job. You got Three Keys and you got other jobs.
Yeah. Like when I say that, I pull all nighters, it's like literally to do both jobs. Yeah, like so. Yeah, I never feel caffeinated enough ever. I was actually complaining to her. I was like, man, Three Keys, like, man, I feel like I'm doing homework and like it's so much work to do, and because it's not. I mean, I think how do I say this? Like, it's not like we make anything from this really to like, you know, for it to be viable for us to like just walk away from our day jobs. This is like something that we do because we're really passionate about it.
Right.
And we love it.
We enjoy it. And
if we do make a little something, like we essentially put that back into the business to like get new equipment or something, or to like create a flavor one, like, you know, just kind of work on like our aesthetic even more to enhance that. So yeah, like the hours that we put in is just really because we love doing what we do. But sometimes it's just like, man, I am tired and I just want to shut this thing down for like a week.
And I don't know, like if I asked you, because I was like, all right, you probably have like way too much going on right now. We don't want to just be thrown on the show. We want to, you know, spend some time with Three Keys. But
I cannot have too much coffee. I'm always trying to try new coffees. Yeah, I hope we can do this again sometime. We can do that versus battle.
Right.
Yeah.
We can do like a 3 Keys flavor wheel experience. So let's have we're gonna get posters made, send one of those to you, send the coffee, and then let's kind of talk about it and like what sort of emotions does this coffee evoke?
I have not touched at all on the emotion aspect or musical aspect of like what coffee can bring and how it can make you feel. So that's exciting. Y'all's flavor wheel is dope. The
crazy thing is, like, I think most people's introduction to coffee has some form of like nostalgia or emotional aspect to it. And I would say 50% of people like can directly connect it to like an experience with their grandparents.
And that's what.
And so 3 Keys, like the, part of why we started this was like because of something I wanted to do to honor my granddad. So we want to like make our coffees about like just more than just kind of, again, like these terms on a sheet of paper, but more about like the emotional connection to it or the sensory connection to it. So we're very intentional about this stuff.
Please bring that to the space. Continue to bring that to the space. That's what I've been missing. Man, thank y'all for existing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for inviting us to chat with you.
Right.
I feel like, I don't know. I know we're over a Zoom call, but I feel like we're like face to face, just having a conversation amongst friends. So I really enjoyed this.
It even looks like, I know y'all looking at your screen, but it even looks like we're making direct eye contact.
Right.
Yeah, this is fun. I'm gonna let y'all get back to what you're doing and probably go back to Instagram. I'm not going back to Instagram. I'm gonna do some work.
Right. You do not need that shot of dopamine right now. You can hold it off for like, an hour.
I got coffee. Shit, I just drank both. I drink all the coffee. I did not mean to do that. I'm probably gonna make some more.
Thank you.
Bye.
I can't avoid, I choose life, I pick the right option. Freedom like I missed tonight's auction, but my boat done missed the tight dock now. How I'ma get to my island, I'm wondering.